Timestamp, July 18th, 2025, about 6:15 p.m. They're wrapping up outside with the septic. They came today, which is great. They also severed my internet connection. So, um, I do typically post ahead. So you probably won't notice this, but I'm gonna have a stack of videos that I'm gonna wind up having to like jam through on Monday or sooner if they get to me sooner, but it doesn't look like they're going to get to me sooner. I can't imagine they don't have a whole lot of hustle on the weekend. So I should be able to take a shower here pretty soon, which will be, nice. But, really, guys? And we got home from, Pix and I got home from the bank to find the internet out, and I asked the guy, I'm like, did you internet? Do you know anything? And he's like, oh yeah, I accidentally cut that. It's like, oh, okay. Which brings up the question of, would you have said anything? I didn't say this to him, but I'm thinking it then and now. Would you have said anything if I hadn't? And also, I do e-business and a lot of stuff online, like constantly. You just put me out of business for the weekend. We'll be having that talk shortly because I'm sure he's going to try and settle up with me in a bit. Went to the bank to try and get... See, here's the situation. I'm on my parents' bank account, POA. Okay. But I'm not on my dad's, credit card, the account credit card. And I tried to get access to the credit card because I'm paying the bills for it. I'm doing all the management part. And I can look at the charges for the month, but I can't do anything with it because he's got, 6 or 7 recurring charges of 800 numbers that he called. One would assume infomercials and things on Fox News and went, oh, this is a great idea. And he hasn't been able to shut them off because he doesn't know how. I tried online, and most of these things, in my opinion, are kind of predatory towards seniors especially, with the idea that we're going to make it incredibly hard to cancel online, and therefore you never will. So went to the bank and said, hey, because I was on the phone for an hour and a half the other day with the bank, basically saying, can I? And they were like, well, you're on the account, but you're not on the credit card. And it's like, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I mean, I understand what the words that you're telling me, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And I explained it to, I'm not sure what to call her. We'll call her Kenny, Ms. Kenny. Very nice, very, very nice. Explained the situation to her, and her grandfather is going through the dementia thing. And I guess there's 9 kids, 40 grandkids. He has most of the right names, but he doesn't assign them to the right people, Someone's name is Conrad, someone's name is Hank, and he will call Conrad Hank and Hank Conrad, Categorically close, but, So she's been watching that go on in her family for a few years, so she has a clue about this sort of thing. And so we called together to the credit part of their organization. And they're like, we'll just have him, he needs to have 2 witnesses, notarized signature, authorizing him to do it. The account holder, the dad, needs to sign off saying that the son, me, can have access to it. And Kenny's looking at me and I'm like, but that doesn't make any sense because I'm his plenary. I've seen it in print 100 times now, but I'm actually not sure how to pronounce that, which is weird because I normally know how to pronounce everything. Plenary. I'm his plenary guardian, and with him being declared lacking capacity and me being appointed as his plenary guardian, this is the part where it sounds ugly. He has basically no rights. He can't he can sign his name, but it means nothing. He can't vote. He can't drive. He can't make financial decisions. So I'm like, we may or may not be able to get that signature thing that you're talking about arranged. But from a legal standpoint, it's kind of a pointless exercise because technically his signature means nothing. I may as well hand him a red crayon and have him draw on the wall. It's not an illegal signature, it's just not legal. Because his word, his signature it's not binding. It has no actual value. And Kenny understood what I was getting at. And the people on the phone were like, well, your POA, and your guardian, but he still has to have the say on that. And it's like, no, the judge from the state of Florida has said that he has no say. Which is why I'm the plenary guardian, and he's my ward. Which is really weird to say. And they're like, well, okay, instead of a signature, if we were to get him on the phone, if the two of you were on the phone together, would he be able to identify himself and also verbally say, like, yes or no, granting you authority? And it's like, that's about the same thing as the signature. Plus, you're talking about dealing with a man on the phone for what you think is going to be a 5-minute Q&A, and it may turn into a 2-hour history of encounters in Vietnam. Additionally, we are talking about the fact that you're going to be trying to get legal yeses and nos from someone who technically can't. After 40 minutes of this kind of back and forth on the phone, Kenny got a hold of that person's supervisor, and they were like, okay, yeah. And Kenny and I were on the same page here. It's like, okay, I understand what the rules are, but maybe these are rules from 20 years ago, because now these kind of things are becoming more common. And where is the carve-out rule that actually makes... Pix just texted me, she got home safe. Where's the carve-out rule that adds for this next level? Because by law, according to at least one judge and 6 doctors in the state of Florida, Mark should be able to make all of the decisions necessary for Fred, including, one would assume, being able to, like, put stop payments on credit card payments, on credit card, pings. And the woman was like, yeah, actually, that makes sense. So, so I have to, and Kenny said, come back when you get these forms together. And I have them, I just got them. The lawyer, that's one of the things the lawyer was slow walking, was copies of these forms from the court. That happened on May 20th or what have you. Here we are mid-July, and it's like, I really need these documents, people. They just sent them to me the other day. And according to the date stamps and all that in their stuff, they've had it since June 17th. So they've been sitting on it for a month. It's like, man, I needed these. I have needed these. So I'm supposed to put all those together along with basically just a piece of paper saying, this is my dad's name, this is his information, this is the credit card number, hi, my name is Mark. Put me on the damn account. So I got to go back to the bank probably Monday or Tuesday, because much like the internet providers, weekend, that's just not going to happen. But at least we have an actual answer and a roadmap to getting this done. And it's not a lot of money. I mean, for you and me, this would be a lot of money. For what my parents have asset-wise, it's like, this is a drop in the bucket, which is probably why they just never really pursued getting it turned off. They're getting pinged for like $120 a month. Me, that's cardiac arrest. But, my dad's compensation's a lot more than that. So this 120, and I know I talked to my mom about this, 2 years ago initially, because she was working me through their paperwork so that I could take over. And, she was like, I don't know what these are. Looking at my dad's credit card statement, she's like, Lowe's, I know what that is. Home Depot, I know what that is. But there were other things, and I'm like, well, if you don't know what it is, like he was getting Hot VW's magazine. We know what that is. We know what that is. When you see, Hot VW Mag, we know what that is. He's been getting that monthly for 40 years? Probably. I don't know. How long has it been around? Um, I remember as a middle school or teenager, that was one of the magazines he got. That, Popular Mechanics, VW Trends, and I think Hot Rod and Dune Buggy magazine. There were 3 or 4 different VW adjacent magazines that came in the mail for him every month. Which, boy, that's a surprise. If you didn't know any better, you'd think he liked Volkswagens. If you know him, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I remember talking to my mom about that, 2 years ago. I'm like, what is this? And she's like, it's probably something Fred signed up for. And it's like, is it being used? I don't even ask anymore. It's something he wanted. It's like, cool, but it looks like it's a recurring monthly. What are you getting for this recurring monthly charge? Just don't worry about it. Okay, I mean, I'm not going to worry about it exactly because it's your money, but shouldn't you worry about that? Because, well, it's your money. But she had a tendency to just not ask questions and I'll just pay it. It's like, no, if you don't know what it is, you ask questions. So, asking questions, and I'm getting some of these things canceled because one of them is a help desk thing for seniors for computers, I guess. I think, from what I was able to look up online based on the phone number and the sketchy information on the credit card statement, which I guess it's one of those, if a senior citizen's trying to open their browser and they can't figure it out, you can call this help desk, and they'll walk you through the procedures, which is a neat service. It's a neat idea. But my dad's computer hasn't actually been up and running in a year and a half. So, and I bet he doesn't even remember signing up for that, having that. So, and he doesn't have a computer where he is. It's like, why don't we cancel this? This recurring $20 charge every month that is really just a gift to this company for $20 a month, because they're not doing anything for it, in that we're not utilizing the service that we're paying for. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be without internet for a few days. I mean, I've got DVDs and all kinds of other stuff to work with. I've got several Doctor Who complete, the complete David Tennant, the complete Matt Smith, as well as a stack of other stuff. Some DVDs actually that I hadn't watched yet that that were on my list of things to do. So I'll probably break some of those open, so I won't get tempted by the magic of Roku and Pluto. Pluto's very alluring. But yeah, so that I'll be talking to What's His Nuts here in a minute. I'm sure he's going to want to get paid, and I might mention to him that I do a fair amount of e-business, and you've just put me out of business for 3 days, actually. I also can't check up on the orders and things of that nature. I ordered a couple of tablecloths. They were running a stupid Prime Day special, and I've got a round fold-up table that I plan on using in here as a dinner table for those rare moments that we want to sit down and have a regular American meal, because we're just so traditional here. And they had a couple of red tablecloths. It was a 2-pack, and it was on special Prime Day, so I ordered it. Because I've got dark green and gray and white checker. I've got a couple of different tablecloths depending on what we want to do seasonally and all that. Just trying to make sure I have a good selection to work with. They had the red ones on special Prime Day, and I pushed the button on that. And I got it today, and it's a set of orange towels. They sent me the wrong item, and it took me way more clicks on my phone than it would have taken on my computer to discover what exactly the hell had just happened, because I saw the guy come up and drop off the towels. We were just coming back from the bank, and Pix is like, oh, you got a package. And I'm looking at the big bundle in his arms and thinking to myself, I did just get a package, it would seem, and I don't know why I got that package. That doesn't look like anything that I ordered. Well, now I know. Because, it's saying that, oh, your tablecloths were delivered. Not my tablecloths. Not my tablecloths. Not my tablecloths. So, delighted with that. But hey, what can you do except return it? So I did all the stuff on my phone, which is, I know that you can survive with your phone and not the computer, but it's a lot clunkier. It just is. There's 7 extra screens and 3 extra buttons you got to push. I always have it queued up on my computer. I always have a couple different folders pretty much open, which I get lectures about you have too many windows open. I usually have 20 windows open, but I've got a beefy computer, so I can handle it. But yeah, that would have been a click of, oh yeah, no, that wasn't it. 2 clicks and I would have been done, not 14. Cut my internet. I can't survive. I'm just going to be wandering around the neighborhood with my Tasmanian double coffee. No, I'll be okay, but I'm annoyed by it. And I'm still wondering if he would have volunteered that information if I hadn't said, hey, by the way, my internet's down. You want to weigh in here? Oh, yeah, about that. I think you wouldn't have told me. That's what I think. Which, that makes me even more pissed. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. I'm not going to... there's a lot of fresh dirt out there. But, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and not treat him like an animal or anything like that. But, dude, it wasn't marked really well. And this is what you do all day, every day. So, it's still a pretty big mistake on your part. Anyway. But I should be able to take a shower. You have no idea. Alright. I'm going to save this onto my computer in a file saying, upload me when you get a chance. It'll all be okay. It'll all be okay. Yeah, it'll be alright. Anyway, make it a great day.